Buenos noches, YouTube. Buenos noches, YouTube. We're out here looking a lot more hairy than we are. Sitting curbside across from the cantina we were at before, living above the brothel. Back from the jungle. Here's a look. Sleeping up top there, if you haven't seen that other video, I had like 6 people waiting. Now I'm down to 0, so I guess I'm just talking to myself. So we're sitting around out here just because Mommy Reina is sleeping in the hammock alongside the upstairs railing. So don't want to be too loud or anything and respect her hospitality. But got some time to kill. Brian, our host, and one of our guides has headed out with a friend of his to grab some drinks and some tacos. Pierce has crashed out on the other hammock that's up in the sort of living room area upstairs, while Erin is just sort of sketching in her sketchbook. We're out here drinking our coffee flavored mezcal we picked up and just sort of kicking it. Thought I'd drop you guys a line, let you know that the jungle went well. One thing I've learned in Mexico in general is that you don't make plans in Mexico. Mexico makes plans for you. So we didn't actually end up doing an overnighter, but we did venture out after doing reconnaissance on the spot. And it was great. We saw some alligators and tarantulas along the way. I've already mentioned the incident with the... oh, here we go. There's someone, Alan Collins. Hey, Alan. Yeah, we're having a great trip. We're actually leaving, heading back up to El Cotes tomorrow to do some quadding and check out some more Mayan ruins and ancient writings and stuff like that. So I'm going to get a lot more of the town for the upcoming video. Today we ended up checking out some Mayan ruins, some more official ones and whatever, out by sort of between El Cotes and Petlan. Petlan's interesting. It's as most of what we've seen out here, beautiful squalor, just like in the sketchy part of Zihuatanejo that we're at. I really shouldn't be out here solo, gringo on the corner, but whatever. It feels a lot safer than parts of Harlem that I've kicked it in. So yeah, Petlan is an interesting spot. It's a port town, and it's in constant change of hands from different cartels and whatever. There's been shootings there recently. Last week, a bunch of people were shot up at a like a cockfight environment because whatever, they change hands and just aren't paying the proper cartel or whatever. Next thing you know, they get drive-by'd or invaded or whatever. And I've met a couple people that have been shot up and whatnot, but we needed some gangster sandals because mine tore apart. So I got these ones. I don't know if you're out there, anyone's out there that saw the last ones, but yeah, these guys. And picked up this fun hat. What's Alan saying? Oh, in Centro, Calexico. Not like the 80s, but still great. Yeah, I love it here. It's the most wonderful thing I find about Mexico is that unlike in the Americas, being what I more consider North America, just because of the cultural aspects, and this guy's creeping up on me real nice and slow, is that the government doesn't try and be your parents here. It's kind of like your life's at your own hands and your own risk. We only be throwing on seatbelts in cars when we're on the highway because I don't want to get into explaining how the driving is here. It's kind of like a me first thing, but the highway gets a little crazy. It's a complicated system. And traffic lights, only green and red, so there's no yellow. You just kind of slam on it. All kinds of topes, which is a little game that we've been playing, driving around drinking vehicles because that seems all right as well. And yeah, you'll be flying along and all of a sudden there's a speed bump and you yell at tope, which I guess means speed bump in Spanish. And so you don't end up flying over them and destroying your shocks and struts and stuff. But yeah, it's been fantastic. It's kind of like make it work out here, and just rules and regulations aren't as strict by any means as you may have seen in my last live video last night out in Trancones with the bathroom with all the cockroaches and the sketchy wiring. Um, yeah, so I was reflecting on some of the questions people were asking yesterday in the live video about if I'd learned any new bushcraft techniques or anything being out here in Mexico in the jungle with the guides and stuff and whatnot. And I said I hadn't, but at the same time, other people asking about what exactly bowcraft means. And I'm actually going to put a video together explaining all of that at some point because it's kind of a term that I came up with. It has to do with hobo and bushcraft and what hobo means and whatever. And a lot of that information you can see on the video that I put up, sort of my intro video. It's like the top video on the regular channel video feed, and but I'm going to expand on that a little bit in a very soon future video because it's kind of interesting. I've really found what exactly bowcraft means, and it's come back to me out here. Just sort of means just like making do with what you got and having enough foresight to grab whatever you have. Like one of the most bowcraft pages I think I've seen is Will Survives. It's a great little channel. You should check him out. He just sort of grabs anything. It doesn't have to be traditional or like settler looking or anything like that. It's the means by which you come across. Having enough foresight to understand that you're starting a fire in the jungle, maybe when you're grabbing coffee, grab a bunch of wooden stir sticks from the coffee spot because there's little to no kindling. All the wood's weird out here. A lot of it's punky. A lot of it's so sun bleached and dried out that it just falls apart in your hands. So that would be something that would be a little bit more bowcraft. I'll think of some more examples that I've incorporated along the way. Using nylon cording, cordage that you would just find laying around for your cordage, or instead of bank line or paracord or whatever, using a construction bag, one of those thick ones are great. You can throw some mulch in it and make a mattress out of it, that kind of stuff. Oh, Rochelle's here. And she's hiding in a room on set. Rochelle is on set dressing on a show right now in Vancouver. We got some other people checking us out. I always feel like I'm being stalked when people don't announce that they're here and what their name is, but your choice, your privacy is your own. I'm definitely not being private at all right now. Come to the south gate of Yosemite. Hit me up and see some sights. I live in Corscold. Is that what it is, Alan? I can't see anything. It's dark out, and I'm part bat, so my sonar doesn't do well for reading flat touch screens, let alone braille. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for checking us out, Alan. I would, yeah, it is dirty fun. I'd love to come out and meet all kinds of people thinking road trips coming up soon. I'd like to get another freight hop in this spring. Pierce really wants to go out, and our friend Sean Bird has done it before as well. So yeah, we might get a freight hop in and get a video done for that this spring. Otherwise, here's our old faithful Beetlejuice car. Nice, gold. If you don't know about Beetlejuice, you can check some of the other live videos, and that is the side view above the brothel, right across the street. And there's Beetlejuice just making it through after we did all the welding and stuff to get it repaired and on the road again. Yeah, what else can I say? I don't know. But yeah, so like any bushcraft techniques I've picked up, just sort of on my own, using coconuts for like bowls to eat out of and stuff and whatever's around. Bow crafting to the point where using these hot nuts that are available here. It's like a lime and habanero peanut. Crushing those up in coconut and using them for spices for meals and stuff. Yeah, so managed to get a lot of rolling stills. I have so many rolling stills for this video coming up for our Mexico video. We're going to try and do some spray painting in the culvert tomorrow night before we leave, after coming back from Helicotes. Just a little dedication mural for Mama Reina, because she is just that gangster. I'll have stories for you guys about her. I'm going to do some lives from Vancouver. Just don't want to talk too much about our situation or location while we're here, given obvious reasoning. We got Dread Sheep, one of our guys who does, one of our composers. He just signed in. What's up, buddy? Sweating my ass off, looking all cartel in my new hat and Guerrero shoes. Guerrero meaning warrior, which I haven't been in years. I'm so out of practice from Wing Chun. It's another endeavor I've taken in the past, teaching that through my Sifu, Ray Van Ramsdonk, and Reza, and all those guys out in Victoria. If you guys are out there and you're one of the ones watching, what's up? Thanks for making it out. Big shout out to those guys as always. And I'm so out of practice, it's ridiculous. So yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to say. Anybody got any questions? No calm, just a poser. You're probably talking about me, but whatever, you're probably right, so whatever. Oh yeah, this is like a chocolate coffee flavored mezcal for anyone who's just showing up right now. It's a little dangerous. Cuidado, because I can't taste the mezcal at all. Yeah, maybe in a minute. I'm only out here, not up at the brothel, because I'm trying to respect people sleeping, and that is the sleep spot up there. Looking forward to heading back to Ocotes tomorrow. I'll take you guys for a walk. So this is where I came to right away. As soon as we got here, just all of this beautiful squalor. And here's the restaurant, the very first restaurant that I came to eat. Some kind of weird tostado tacos in like a chicken soup. I think it's too dark to see, but let me just try and flip the camera here. So this is the restaurant right in here, and you really can't see it, but it is an absolute gravel pit in chain link fence form. So follow this wall along, and right in there, which you absolutely can't see, and I don't think I can turn my flashlight on. Let me see if I can. No, it won't let me light it up. But yeah, just in there, it's a gravel pit, and yeah, came down with Mama Reina and our guide. No, it won't let me flip the camera now, or is it flipped? Can't even tell. Yeah, it's flipped. Standing in the middle of sketchy streets. Dare I take a walk around the block? Okay, well, all right, guys, maybe screen record or get ready to call 911, because I'm going down this block that I'm apparently not supposed to. Maybe I'll just find a better backdrop. I mean, if anyone comes across me that means any harm, I think they're going to be a little bit more freaked out with all of this. Not to say anything about me, but they're going to be like, what's the crazy white guy doing it on the street here? And they probably won't mess around. Shortly, I think I'm going to take off, but I'm going to head upstairs to above the brothel. Oh, what's Dread Sheep saying? The sides have those indentation channels, and they confuse me. I don't know what that means. Hey, it's CJ. If you do that, remember Wing Chun. I was just talking about Wing Chun and CJ. Nice to see you. It's been a while. As you can see, I've been busy planning this trip and jungle excursions and stuff. Can't wait for you guys to see all that. Crocodiles were hella cool. The tarantula was awesome. It's a certain type of tarantula, and we've seen a lot of ground webbing, but only one tarantula today. Scroll up. That's way too complicated, man. Sorry. But yeah, it was an interesting type of tarantula. The black and orange ones you can't pick up. It's actually their hairs on them that's venomous, and apparently they don't bite. But Brian's brother out in Ocotes bonded with me regarding my brown recluse bite, where I got my tattoo years ago. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I got bit in Victoria and got a spider tattooed over the bite, it went necrotic and it smelled like death in my place. Girl I was seeing at the time made me go to the doctor, and it got fixed up and lanced and all this kinds of crazy shit. But it's like a hole in my leg left over. But he loves spiders, and what he does, apparently it's good luck to move a tarantula off the road. You know, people start laughing like the Joker when you're hanging out in like the equivalent of Harlem in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, and you start getting weirded out. I don't know if you can hear that. They're back there somewhere. Yeah. And that's the thing when you're in PETA, lots of bullet holes. And one of the working guys we were talking to was saying that adobe, not so much, concrete and rebar out here rather than wood, because wood for building is a little harder to come by unless it's for style and design. And part of the reason is it's cooler in the heat, which is we've gotten up to 42 degrees here, I think, since I've been here. As well as it stops bullets a lot better than wood. So there's that. I'm gonna head upstairs here pretty quick before I do get run over, shot, stabbed, robbed, scared, whatever happens. CJ, don't need to. Not sure what that's referring to. Oh, asking about the boar tusk. Yeah, that was gifted to me by one of our guides, just in respect to the bushcraft factor and the channel itself, and I made a necklace out of it. That shows up in the last live video. Boar tusk, boar tusk, boar tusk. Rochelle. Hey Gina. You used to have 5? Has to have 5 of what? I say things randomly, rambling on these live feeds, and then people make comments and I don't know what they're referring to because I'm lost and deranged. I forget about the paramilitary. Yeah, the paramilitary. It's funny, there's police out here that are just positioned to like guide traffic and have no sidearm or anything. And the paramilitary are just like police, and it's funny because they wear all camo, and I imagine they're sweating to death, and they carry their ARs, and they cover their faces with the same camo, kind of like the stretchy scarves that I love to wear. And stuff, just so that if they get into encounters with people, they aren't recognizable. So when they're walking the streets and whatever, they don't get retribution pulled on them. CJ, talking about the spiders. You looking for spider, I say? Hey Cinderella, you looking for a fellow? Sorry, just reminded me of Blood In, Blood Out. What else? CJ. Boar tusk, do you know why it has those channels down the sides? I don't know why it has those channels down the sides. It's interesting. Maybe it's age or something. I am not sure. Just no idea. It's an interesting thing to check out. Oh, tarantula. Gina had 5 tarantulas, you psychotic bitch. I used to have a severe arachnophobia when I was a kid. I used to go into Petlands and just have a look at them. What's this card doing? It's got government markings on it, it looks like. We'll eat some more fried bread. Yeah, and I tap on the glass just to watch them do that stand-up, what they do. Super creepy. Not so bad with them now, but I managed to get close enough and not worry about it. But yeah, they are corrupt. But honestly, the police here don't want any problems with gringos or whatever. They're kind of told to leave us alone. We bring in some major fractions for the economy here, and they don't want international trouble. So the other night we bribed some cops. They pulled us over for running a red, and Pierce handled it real well. I don't know that I'd say it was a bribe, but they wanted like 3,000 pesos, which is the equivalent of like $300, I guess. And we talked them down and negotiated it to $150 Canadian, so 1,500 pesos, I guess. CJ, no, I'm saying no need to touch a spider out there. Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, lots of ground. Like we had an area by the Aztec ruins that there was just a ton of ground webs. As you know or don't know, tarantulas love, they just blanket the ground in webbing. I don't know if we're going to be around in the place with the badass hats, man. That's Petland, and you don't want to go there if you don't really have to. I don't know if you're around when I was talking about how it's changes hands with different cartels constantly and stuff, and just bullet holes in some of the buildings and whatever. And it wasn't costly at all. I think it was 1,600 pesos or something. No, it wasn't 1,600. It was, I can't remember. It was like $16. That's like what? I don't even know. My conversion's off. I can't think about it right now. Maybe it's too much mezcal. Outruled by the tarantulas, definitely. Well, it's so hot out here right now, and I've gotten no airflow. It's way nicer upstairs, so I think I might head up and get some more mezcal. You guys can join me. Ball looks kind of cool. Do you guys want to see the ridiculous memento I got? Because, you know, I had to get the most ridiculous memento from Mexico as I could. Oh, what's Alan saying? Hey, Alan used to bribe the police down there all the time just to cross back to the USA. I got pretty gangster in the late 80s. Then in the 90s, we quit going. Gina says yes, she wants to see the ridiculous thing I got as a memento. Kai says hi. Hi, Kai. She's tuned in but doesn't have an account. Show us your loot. My loot. That's kind of fun. A lot of it's packed away already, but I can at least show you the big thing that I have to actually purchase a giant duffel bag for. It's been really hard finding stuff for anybody because it's basically all just trinkets and crap. But I got a couple cool things that I'll maybe show in another live when we get back, when I can tell more stories about being here. Gonna have to be a little quiet. I'm gonna reverse the camera so you can see, guys, see the back of the room of the brothel. That's where I was sitting. Good night, Ziwa. Buenos noches. Here's our door. That's the back of the brothel. They tend to close when it's not busy. Oh, it's a little earlier, and it's not busy, it being a Thursday. So I'm gonna go up here and I'll show you guys the loots in a minute. We're just gonna top up our mezcal. Anyone that didn't see the other live video, this is our bathroom over here. And our shower. We shower from this basin with buckets. There's a drain in the floor. Oh, let's do this. Here's the sleeping Peters. See if we can find a marker and draw his face. All right, so this is our ice situation. Pretty much just giant. I dropped that. Sorry, I had to put you guys down in the freezer for a sec. Here's our giant chunk of ice. There's our glass. There's our mezcal. Give me 1 second. Scaled up. My Wing Chun is clearly out of practice for sure. Yeah, I got one hand on a phone, one hand on a ice cube tray. I think Aaron has gone to sleep, so we're gonna have to be quiet off to just pull out this big ridiculous thing. I'll show it to you guys. Hold on. Okay, so this thing stands about 3.5 feet tall. Let's see, maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall. Come on, flip in the camera. Light. A little bit of Aztec predator action. So that's my hand in relation. Fully detailed, hand carved, total tongue-in-cheek, tacky purchase. What's everybody saying? Like an octopus. Yeah. Ralph Hanel, whom I no longer connect or communicate with. You know what? I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette before bed. And I'll bring you all with me. Committed to smoking out here because you can get not only singles, and that's what drew me in and got me rehooked, but also the fact that you can buy those menthol crush filters, which I love. It's, I don't know, menthol once in a while is pretty awesome in my smoking days, and there's nothing like burning yourself out smoking a cigarette and then being able to crush the filter for it to be menthol. During the day, we leave the door pretty much open, and it's great. There's like a little chihuahua in the neighborhood that belongs to nobody. It's real skittish, but they'll come upstairs and eat all the scraps left over from dinner and lunch and stuff. We nicknamed him Cheeto. And a little lighter in here somewhere. Oh shit, I've got way too much money on me to be out here by myself. Alright, well, been safe so far. What are people saying? Fish bones. Tell them about the fish bones. I will tell you guys all about the fish bones. So, I've named the sculpture off of Gangster Town Elocotes, which means the hope. So our giant Aztec predator sculpture is called the Hope, or Elocotes. Put that in your window in Canada. No one will be bothering you. It's going to go up in the cabin, and I've got these plinths, for anybody surprised. Yeah, I've encountered a lot of people that don't know what a plinth is. It's just basically a pillar, but I've got plinths with glass tops on them with lights, so it's going to be uplit through the glass, looking all menacing. And then I get bored of it, thinking I'm going to drop some stage blood from my props part down onto down over top of him, so he's drenched in blood. Is it a culture shock? Yeah, it was an incredible culture shock. The guys told me my eyes were dilated for the first night I was here, just coming here, being dropped down. And basically, CJ, I know you've seen the movie Chappie. I can't think of the other movie that's in the same universe as Chappie, but it takes place in Brazil, total squalor, shanties everywhere, bunch of madness. Yeah, absolute culture shock. I mean, I don't know, CJ, if you were here, but I was showing the pit, gravel pit, where I had my first meal, and it was a gravel pit with chain link fencing. There's no regulations or laws or rules about that out here, or it's just that kind of neighborhood. Apparently this is the Hastings and Maine of Zihuatanejo. I'm not supposed to be leaving the place alone. I shouldn't be out here alone, but whatever, you only die. I don't know how many old souls are out there, but you only die how many times? Yeah, another really interesting thing is a lot of the politicians, their street teams, instead of postering, they actually make stencils, and they'll say their name and it just says C, and then they'll have their face in a one-color stencil, and they're just illegally spray painted everywhere. Oh, CJ, nice call, District 9. Totally, that's exactly what this is like. Oh, there's a cat show. Oh, come on, camera revert. Oh, it just went behind Beetlejuice. See if he's gonna come out the other end. I don't know if you guys can hear all the dogs barking. There he is. But dogs rule the night just through the streets. There's packs that come through and take care of shit. And yeah, the cats rule the rooftops. It's a pretty Disney-esque movie. Dread Sheep, I think you keep dying until you figure it out. Yeah, I hear that. I heard a great analogy about that once where it's all about like you keep coming back to this world, and it's like a rock tumbler and you come in rough edges, and each time you come back you go through enough negative experiences and just trials and tribulations until all of your rough edges are smoothed out from the rock tumbler. And then I've heard it be Buddhist that way as well as Taoist, then you gravitate more and more to those kind of concepts and whatever, and then through meditations and transmigration, you are able to transmigrate, enjoying the ever after. Who knows, right? There are a lot of interesting movies about that out there. What's Alan saying? Last I checked, you can only die once, and if you had to leave this life in Mexico at this point, in the world, that might be pretty gangster. Yeah, it would be for sure. Coming to you live from the hospital on a ventilator. Um, yeah, I don't know where we at. What was I talking about? I have no idea. It's so hot. It's hard to think. I'm just babbling endlessly. Or it's the mezcal. One of the two. I'm going to scroll up and see if I missed any questions. Bowcraft Philosophy and Life Channel 101. We've got 8 viewers. I think everyone's checked in at this point. So everybody meet everybody. I'm really not important enough to be hosting live channels and chats or anything. This was actually just so it. Some close friends know about this, but I was never supposed to be running a channel. What happened during COVID was there was an ex-ranger and an ex-military guy that will be left unnamed that were talking about doing wilderness survival courses because everyone was really interested in bugging out. The world was potentially coming to an end, things like that. And so I put together a YouTube channel to promote it. And sometimes I get a little carried away having a background in small business branding, development, marketing, and graphic design. And I put together the channel in order to, hi Jess, in order to promote those wilderness survival courses. And sometimes I get ahead of myself a little bit before people commit. I'm so hyped, I just move. But anyway, the courses never happened and the channel stuck around, so it was a big fuck you to my own inspiration and the courses not panning out. I just considered doing it, and it's been backbreaking. Because as you know, one of the most wonderful and amazing things about YouTube is that it offers absolutely anybody with editing skills and so on and so forth the ability to create their own broadcast TV channel, which means it's best suited to be releasing a video anywhere between, everyone shoots for 4 to 8 minutes because that's every 4 minutes is when commercials happen and advertisements, and that's what you get paid for. But people's attention spans with shorts and reels and stuff have waned so much that I'd like to do like 3 to 10 minutes tops. This one's probably going to be a really long one or sectioned off into 3 different ones because there's so many different things we've done out here. CJ, what are you saying? Yeah, I should probably finish my thought though. So basically, this channel gives me purpose and whatever, and it's fun doing these live things and getting used to it. It's like public speaking all over again when I worked as a cultural advisor at City Hall in Vancouver and stuff. And yeah, it's funny where your life takes you and ends up. What's CJ saying? But at the same time, it's common sense. Look, listen, and react. Not sure what weird thing I said that's referring to. Carla's here. You're full of enough knowledge and less useless and useful facts for a few YouTube channels. Yeah, that's probably true. Back in high school, they used to call me Cliff Clavin from Cheers. I just know ridiculous concepts, and I love repeating hearsay and rumors if they're exciting as though they're the truth, because I want them to be real, and it's fun to spread legend. So maybe with intention and enough legend getting around, legends become real and inspirational. Situation, yeah, for sure. I feel pretty comfortable out here. I've been in spots that feel way sketchier, so yeah, you're right, CJ, for sure. Situational awareness is definitely a thing and a part of what we would teach in the women's self-defense classes through the Wing Chun, through Direct Impact. So cheers. Let's go. Yeah, I'd love to show you guys what else I've picked up out here, other than the hat and the gangster symbols. But everyone's kind of sleeping. Brian and Yvonne, I can't remember his Spanish name, are out. Whatever. Probably Jaguar, the strip club. Go check this out. This is a thing. Cameras. There you go. Ground effects and rock lights on cars. It's a status thing. Like you can have flashing lights like cop cars out here, and like so many people have it. Here's another one. Come on, flip wheels. Everybody's got that shit, and the amount of people that get around on dirt bike is insane. Even like buggies, like dune buggies, side by sides, ATVs, they're all street legal here. Dread sheep. Brian equals, it says Geronimo. Forgive spelling. Yeah, pretty much. There's more fun lights. Ladies ripping around on ATVs and stuff. What country is that? Asks Leo. I don't know, Leo, where are you from? This is Mexico, state of Guerrero in Zihuatanejo, basically. Straight up ghetto. Alan, just out of curiosity, what pushed you or made you desire to go to Mexico? I'm sure you already covered this, but I work weird hours and what pushed me? Life pushed me, I guess. I thought it'd be good for the channel to do some jungle craft out here other than just bushcraft and see some, push myself into an uncomfortable situation. As I have freight hopping, I haven't hopped freight, gone and hopped all across North America from Winnipeg into Toronto, and then other times like from Toronto into New York, Chicago, Nashville, around that and whatever. Wanted to learn more about North America and I guess this is technically North America, but it's third world, but more about our culture and stuff and everything else. With my deep interest in psychology before I ventured outside of it, and then life took its hold working in film and everything else, and gaining a disability, which I've never talked about, just physical stuff. I kind of have talked about it on the channel in videos about shattering my ankle, hopping off a train in Niagara State and stuff, and that caused everything to like screw up along the way through my ACL and into my back and my neck, and late adult onset lower back scoliosis. Michelle's gonna. Oh, it's allergy here. CJ's asking. So what brought me out here was basically the opportunity and some of the connections to be able to travel to the real Mexico where no one gets to go, like the mountain town of El Ocotes. And just some of the associations and stuff, to really experience something cultural rather than like a all-inclusive or something like that. Sorry, just reading. Are there any real environmental challenges, meaning humidity, heat, etc.? It hasn't seemed too hot. It's pretty much to the extent that it's felt like Nashville out here. Although I swear Nashville was worse. It was like trying to breathe in the oven when we were working for Def Jam with Peter Blue and those guys out at Bonnaroo Festival, watching Primus and Grateful Dead and Ween and stuff. It was great. We had side stage and stuff for a lot of that. It poured for like 3 days straight. Mud was up to your, halfway up your shin to your knee. There's all kinds of stories about that, but that isn't bushcraft, so we'll avoid that for now. Now I can go to Fushan. I haven't told you about my hookup, have I, CJ, with the, we flew out the choreographer, I can't think of his name offhand, Sifu Ao Young from Hong Kong and did a day with him in Victoria, and it was Vancouver. I think it was Vancouver. Yeah, out in Richmond. It was pretty amazing, and we hit it off real well. He said I could come out to Hong Kong and be his assistant for anywhere from a week to a month and see how it went from there. And then COVID happened right when I was checking out flights, so that was a project totally internal Wing Chun. So that would have been really interesting. But I mean, it's not a Wing Chun channel, so don't know if there's much opportunity to go to China anymore, given the state of being that it is. Are there any real environmental? Yeah. So yeah, the humidity's been tough. Definitely couldn't be wearing shoes. It'd be one second pair of sandals I've gone through. I pretty much don't really sweat, so I've been lucky there because we've been stuck in situations where we don't really have showers. In Trancones, camping on the beach, there was a lot of swimming, and oh, I didn't tell you guys, I almost got sucked out by the riptide in Trancones. I think it was the day yesterday. Yeah, so I did the live stream, and I didn't mention it to anybody. I was out swimming, and there was 3 breaks, and the furthest break was like tops 10-foot waves. But I kept wandering out, and the water was like pretty much waist deep at that point. It stayed waist deep, and then it went nipple deep, and then it was waist deep again as the tide coming in and out, whatever. And then all of a sudden, 10-foot wave came and crashed down behind me, and all of a sudden there was no more not shoreline, what's the word for that? There's no more ground. There was no more sand underneath my feet, and I was trying to swim, and I was getting sucked out more and more and more, and I could see the shoreline disappearing, and I was just holding on in total panic. Wasn't thrashing and splashing, but Wing Chun mind for CJ, I kind of like just focused and attempted to like stay calm and whatever, and make my way in after each wave. I was out there for about 3 to 5 minutes. Eventually, the sand came up to my feet, and I was tippy-toed with up to my chin, trying to stay up. And I was just thinking, do I need to scream for help? Can they even hear me? It's probably like 20, 30 feet out from shore. Just sort of happened out of nowhere. And then I managed to get a couple good pushes, and then the wave behind me pushed me forward, and I got above the riptide and just swam like hell until I got, and I'm a great swimmer, but I have no stamina because of the disability. So once I got in past the riptide a little bit, managed to put my feet down, I was about up to my neck, and I just booked it, and then it was sort of like when I could feel the tide pulling the sand underneath my feet, everything. I just leveled out on the top of it and swam my hardest. It came out totally out of breath. It was amazing for like about 5 minutes. I was like, wow, look, another near-death experience. But the most amazing thing about it is that I got to experience the horror that you do experience getting sucked out by the tide and the power of the ocean. So it was pretty incredible. I think any less of a swimmer, or if I didn't have as much stamina as I could muster in that point, I would be dead. So that was pretty amazing. A bunch of people have been saying some stuff. So, small post. Lady Jess, what you drinking? It's mezcal, Jess. It's coffee flavored mezcal. I did a whole pour upstairs in the above the brothel a bit ago. Dread sheep. If that happens again, I hear you're supposed to swim sideways and swim across the part that's pulling you out. That's kind of what I did, interestingly enough. It was when I realized I need to get above the riptide coming out underneath as the waves are coming above it. I kind of ended up just sort of swimming sideways naturally, with no intention. Riptide is fucking scary shit. Yeah, Alan, it totally is. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it after I got out of it. Been there once. Really scary, yeah, man. Seriously. Riptide Brothers. CJ, you're a strong individual. That's why you're here. Oh, thanks, bud. Yeah, Jess, it was scary. Scary as shit. Good sheep. Thanks for not feeding the fish with your face. Yeah, no problem. Although when we were out in the jungle, there was a small pool of like, it kept as fresh water or something. Because there's a really awesome scene that's going to be up, a little bit of a homage to Apocalypse Now. In the jungle, we found some hot springs. And then after that, there's this pond. They're like these like little tiny piranha type fish, and you lay in it, and they come and they eat the dead skin off your body. I had like 200 on me, but I don't know if the camera caught them well enough. I had the camera underwater, I had it above the water, but yeah, it was weird. Just sort of ticklish little bites, no pain in it whatsoever. They just eat your dead skin. It's crazy. So as far as feeding the fish, been there. Watch a dog swim across the river. They always swim diagonal to the current. It's a trip. No way. That's awesome. Trying to teach Riggs to swim, but given that he's a fight circuit rescue from Texas, voila. Cute girls driving by on motorcycles. Stole the smile. Lady Jess. I'd be the only nerd with a life jacket in the ocean, knee deep. Yeah. It would be adorable. I'm sorry, Jess. But yeah, cute. Oh yeah, and so like there not being really any rules here, like, and I've talked about the lights and the traffic, but even like park however you can. Just saying, great advice, Dread Sheep. So interesting, people from Winnipeg and people from Port Moody getting to meet each other through this boring, babbling conversation that I'm just having with the fucking stratosphere as it bounces around between satellites and stuff. I was gonna make something witty statement about Elon Musk, but I couldn't remember his name. So thanks, Elon, for making this channel live. I blame you for a lot of things, including climate change. I've switched from Al Gore to Elon Musk. Oh, check this little caravan out. Oh, come on. Oh, that was cartel. You can tell because if you can't see what they're wearing, it's all to do with how tinted their front windows are. And like, it's illegal here. It's like the one thing. But like, people's windows are just tinted so black, you can barely see the sun through them. It's kind of crazy. And people I'm talking about that you want to kind of avoid, it's a major front window tint. A lot of camo being worn, radios being worn, and it's kind of the thing, like no one else wears a radio because you get spot by those working guys and you're wearing a radio, they're kind of like, what the fuck are you wearing a radio for? So there's that. CJ's coming to us from Winnipeg as well as Jess. Skinfish, says Alan Collins. I'm gonna look those things up. I guess I'm gonna have to have dialogue on the voiceover. Thinking about when I put this together, I'm just gonna like get drunk in front of my computer while editing and do the ADR. That always is fun. Maybe have the rest of the gang there at my place, my sound booth. Judge Sheep, you're more than welcome to join us. Same with Rochelle. Carrie says, CJ says Limo. I'm not sure what that means. Am I chain smoking? This is my second cigarette. Can't believe you guys are actually still here. Is this that exciting? I guess it's kind of neat. But I mean, if it was one of you, I'd be watching it. Yeah, not sure what else to talk about. Heading back up to El Ocotes tomorrow. Maybe we'll deal with another rattlesnake or two. I'd like to get some more footage of tarantulas, maybe one that's not the orange and black, although the thing's fucking beautiful. I wish I could like upload stuff to the screen so you guys could see it now. Going on an hour here. So tomorrow, every Friday, video being released. Yeah, it was Cretans playing. Good ear, Alan. I'm glad to know that, because then I can tell how well this directional microphone is working that I'm using and stuff. It was rather loud though, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. But what was I gonna say? Helicotes. Tarantulas. Stuff. It's so hot, it's hard to think. Anybody remember what I was going to be saying? Oh, here's one of our local strays right now. See if we can get him to come over. Hello, you look like a Riggs. I was talking about at one point. Sorry, I jump around, guys. People ask questions, I get lost, and I get inspired by the question and love to answer. I was talking about Riggs and trying to make him into a water dog because I love the water, but he's got webbed feet and all, being a southern blackmouth cur. But yeah, he's scared to death of water, being a fight circuit rescue from Texas. Apparently, they like to spray them down with water in their cages and to get them back into their cages and calm them down. So he's deadly scared of water. Even running like a drill, I guess it sounds like a tap running. He used to be scared of those. Um, as some of you guys know, I do a bit of armory here and there on the occasion in film, so moving some firearms around my safe and stuff. I can't remember who was with me, but they're like, "Hey man, your dog is shaking." And he was in the corner shaking, just seeing the firearms. Since then, I've gotten him a little more used to them sleeping with magazines and stuff, and just letting him know that they're okay and whatever. And he still kind of freaks out a little bit and runs and hides. Um, Mexican red leg are orange and black. Okay, so that's what I encountered. Pretty common spider in the pet trade. Uno mas. One more. Okay, not sure. One more one. Do the locals take care of them okay? Yeah, for the most part. We've actually given money to some of the locals that we know, because the dogs come around and they eat your scraps and stuff and get chased away when they're not wanted. They're kind of viewed as rodents a lot of the time. But yeah, ticks are a major thing. Like clusters of ticks will be like kind of, in petting them, they're dirty. So you don't really want to pet them that much. They could have like, um, disease, be carrying disease or whatever. The one that we might be bringing back to the valley, it's going to be sort of more Aaron's dog than anything. But I made a commitment that if anything, if it gets there, and we'll all take care of it and feed it and let it wander and roam with the option of having a place to come in and stay, because it's an outside dog for sure, especially in the winter. But yeah, ticks are the major thing, and a lot of them are scarred up from just fighting in the streets, and maybe the packs get a hold of them, because the packs do roam the streets at night. Haven't seen the pack in a couple of days that sort of rules these blocks, because we haven't really been here. We've been in the jungle and out at the hotel for a little bit, and then just all over the place for these last week and a bit. Oh, you want me to have one more drink before I sign out? Is that what you're saying, Dread Chief? Emotional support puppy, no doubt. Scabies. Haven't seen too much scabies or mange, if at all, on these strays. More like ticks are the big problem. Yeah. And parasites, you'll walk past dog poop and you'll see like worms in them and stuff. Oh, we've got another stray over here. Hi, buddy. Are you safe to call over? You guys see him? No, can't see him. Or he's not gonna come anyway. Alan saying, would really like to meet you, bro. Come to the south gate of Yosemite on a trip. I would love to, man. I miss the States. Right now, I can't cross into the States, unfortunately. A number of years ago, I was running around with one of the actors that I work with, and another guy, and we ended up in, I can't even remember the names of areas in Vancouver. Um, but yeah, we ended up at the border, and it's this one specific area where you're driving, and all of a sudden you're at the border. And then before we got a chance to turn around, there was a car behind us, and we were driving up to the checkpoint for customs and everything and entrance, and just told the guy like, hey, and well, yeah, so like the passenger kid that I really didn't want to come out with us for this drive was he didn't have his ID on him, and it's just like, so are you an adult? Why don't you just have your ID on you? Whatever. So we just told him, hey man, we're happy to turn around, or like, let us through. We'll grab a sandwich in like Seattle or something and head back. your call, just relaxed about it. And they pulled us in, sent the dogs into the vehicle, and I don't smoke weed, but the driver did. And I remember my cockiness is just how I cope, just dealing with the cops and stuff and the border people and whatever. I tried to tell them that I wish to retract my application to enter the United States, and they were like, "That's too late," whatever. It was back in the day, flip phones, and I couldn't really record anything. And me saying that, and them saying that, so I had no leg in it. But Buddy, the driver, I guess the dogs found weed in the car, so then we're getting searched and whatever. And I remember the door being cracked open, and I saw him pull his hand out of his pocket and then put it right back in and whatever. And he tried to palm a roach that he had in his pocket. So we ended up detained for like 6 hours, where they tried to figure out what to do with us. And I'm sure my cocky kind of like tongue-in-cheek sense of humor didn't help, but that's my coping mechanism, because I knew we had done nothing wrong before that. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh damn, what's going on now? So they gave us paperwork, and they turned us around and escorted us flashing lights to the Canadian side. We went back across, just handed over the paperwork. Didn't It was young enough and stupid enough to not really care, but I haven't been able to enter the U.S. since then, just sort of blacklisted or whatever. But I do have contacts to an advocacy out there that should be able to get me clearance. I might have to buy a Nexus as a result, apparently, but yeah, I'm working on that. So, Alan, I'd love to come see you, and if you're ever in Vancouver or in BC, do let me know. Hit me up. I've got a bit of a Lord Byron complex, so you're always welcome at my cabin. Hot tubs, bushcraft, do some shooting, play with some arrows and some archery, throw some knives. I don't know, whatever. Great neighbors, great little cabin community, and I've got a spare room upstairs for you if you ever want to make it out. You can find anybody that wants to find me and just like friend request or whatever, check out stuff. I don't use Facebook for much more than work in the film industry and connections, and just to keep in contact with people I meet on travels, old friends in different cities, be able to check in on their Facebook pages. But yeah, find me under Sans Handle. First name Sans, Sans. Last name Handle, Handle on Facebook. And I promote all of the videos as they go up there as well. And that's pretty much all I use it for, and just to keep in contact with people through Messenger. Crossover USA, Canada equals weed is okay. Yeah, now, now that I can't enter because of it. Um, dun, dun, dun. Lady Jess, the last time I smoked weed was with me up in my loft in 1997. Wow, that was above my parents' place. That place has some stories. CJ, am I still in van? Yeah, I'm still living in van for now, looking at moving out to the cabin full time. I got places to stay with one of the guys I work with, Prop Master, that I love dearly, that hopefully he wants to do some stuff for the channel, but hasn't gotten around to it. He was just in Cancun dealing with some medical stuff. Name is Clint, and whatever. Oh, this vehicle you gotta see. Shit. The front was deckled out like crazy. Like even the front windshields on some of these vehicles are just deckled out. Tread Cheap says, well, okay. I say okay. We'll just take your weed. You aren't getting arrested. No, I didn't get arrested, but I got blacklisted, so I can't get outside of Canada into the United States. I even had to take a direct flight here, and I have to take a direct flight back. No stopovers, because going through customs again and stuff, I'm black. I'm flagged. So yeah, don't be a prick to customs people unless you're on your own and you know that you've done nothing wrong. But the advocacy should open things up for me. So get on that. Dread Sheep says, stay in van, damn it. We got to figure out our dog factor so you guys can make it out to the cabin more often. And it's a great trip. Myself and Dread Sheep have twin Harley Davidson Fat Boy Low bikes. He's got the I've got the gloss, he's got the flat black, and they're about like 5 to 10 years apart. Which I don't name vehicles, but Dread Sheep named his one of the bores from Princess Mononoke, and there's two Boar brothers in Princess Mononoke. I think mine ended up being named Okoto. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And I don't remember what Dreadsheep's name was or which name belonged to which bike. I gotta get that tattooed or something. Mm. Nago and Okoto. Is it which one's the like leader old guy? One of them's one of those, and I think the other one is the one that dies in the beginning of all the parasites. Yeah, CJ, if everything's working out, totally come out in July. I don't know that I'm going to be working or not, but we'll figure it out. The constant barking and the bikes would drive me nuts. But in some ways, it's also very soothing. It is very soothing. It just reminds me of like sleeping on rooftops in Toronto and New York and stuff, and on fire escapes. I have Okoto, who is the leader of the Boer tribe. Oh God, I don't even like leading rides. Nago dies in the start. Both are gods, right? Okay, awesome. But yeah, not much more to say. Oh, Amirena is awake and adjusting her hair. I'll show you that she's sleeping. If you can see, she's getting up now. She's like in her 70s and she just sleeps on the hammock right by the railing. Listens to this every night. Can't wait to get back to Vancouver and tell you more stories about it. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna call it quits. All these dogs you're barking are all strays. It's crazy. Um, I need to get to sleep. Oh, I wanted to mention the video that's coming out tomorrow. I did ahead of time before we left for here. I don't have any videos banked, so did that video ahead of time before coming to Mexico, just so I'd have something the day before we're leaving, so I wouldn't have to make a full video while here, although I did do the Real Mexico Living Above Brothels video last Friday that's up. And could use views and comments if anyone wants to check that out. Maybe help boost the algorithm a little bit, because that one's only 109, and because it wasn't bushcraft related, I didn't promote it and copy link and paste the link on all the Facebook bushcraft channels, so it's a lower one. The one before that's doing pretty good. The bushcraft straps, the strap hack video. Thanks again to Rochelle for helping film. She's an amazing camera woman. But yeah, that one is up at like 5,736, I believe. So I've got 50 more subscribers to collect to make it to 1,000. And then unfortunately, I still have 2,000 watch hours to get in the last 365 days. I've gotten 2,000 watch hours so far, and I need 4,000 to monetize. Not that I'm in this for the money, but it would be nice. Although the Amazon purchases, when I reviewed the finest, cheapest of bushcraft items on Amazon through my Amazon store, I make a bit of money. It's turning around. I think I made like $50 so far, or something like that. And you know, selling those BPS knives, which are so amazing, out of the Czech Republic or whatever. Those sell for like $60, and they're so worth it with the great leather and the bushcraftiness of them. I actually make like $4 out of every $60 knife sold, so that's crazy. If you got an avenue, I'd highly suggest it, because you do nothing. Like, well, I guess I'm promoting the sale, but whatever. I've got a bushcraft channel, so it goes hand in hand. Great to see you too, CJ, and we'll work out July. Appreciate the invite. Somehow we will tip a beer at some point for sure. Salud. I can feel it. Right on, Alan. Totally down. And come find me on Facebook if you're on there. Again, it's Sans, first name Sans, last name Panda. See, Dreadsheep saying bushcraft backpack strap. Backpack pack strap. I actually said that in the intro, but I was supposed to say bushcraft backpack hack strap, because it's a hack. the type of strap using with the toggles and the paracord, making a bit of a ratchet strap. But yeah, guys, feel free to check out the video. But tomorrow's video, I don't know that I'm gonna have time. Myself and Aaron came up with this great concept of Mexican trail mix out of some of the Mexican food at the OXXO here. And OXXO is basically the equivalent of 7-Eleven in Canada. But yeah, I was going to try and do that tonight, but I don't know that I'm going to have time. So it's probably going to, I wanted to do another video from Mexico since we're here. But the pre-made video will probably launch tomorrow, and it's a first aid hack in case you cut yourself in your finger in the woods, and it involves like some natural herbal kind of remedies, natural styptic and cauterization aspects of one of the plants in Canada and the US, and I don't know if it's here, it's yarrow, and then I'm going to do another video on how to process down yarrow properly at some point, but yeah, so that video is probably just going to launch tomorrow 2:30. Could always use everyone's help, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing on Facebook or wherever you can. That all helps push the algorithm and gets me closer and closer to the goal of 4,000 watch hours. And yeah, the more it gets seen, the more likes, the more comments, the more the algorithm picks up on it and knows that it's a great little, oh, here's another car. Just a little more lighting. That is actually a taxi. Anyway, I've babbled way too long, keeping myself and all you guys up. Good cheap bushcraft, yeah, we read that. Sans_handle. I'll be your secretary, boo. Aw, baby. I can't wait to see you guys when we get back to. It'd be great. And yeah, Sheepman, we'll try and find you a hat. It's I've mentioned earlier, it's crazy hard trying to find gifts for anybody out here. It's all crap trinkets. I've managed to find two, one for Hayden and one for Rochelle. I didn't really put too much weight on finding anything for anybody specifically. I wasn't sure what to get for anybody, and like I say, they've all been crap trinkets that we were running across in Centro and other parts that we've been to, or it's really expensive stuff that's really way too big. I mean, that sculpture I got, oh, the sculpture, Rochelle was saying, talk about the fish bones. So that sculpture is actually crushed up fish bones into a powder, and then they set it in resin and then form the sculpture itself, and then they hand carve all the details. So that was pretty cool. But I talked the guy down. It ended up being, I think it was 2,000 pesos. He was asking for 3,000 pesos, which is like what, 300. I don't know. I'm having trouble with conversion off the top of my head right now, but it was basically $80. So I figured, why not? It's ridiculous enough. It's a great memento. It screams tongue in cheek, and that screams me. So yeah. So all right, Dread Sheep, no worries. I have a huge head, and I spent way too long trying to find a hat for my massive skull when I was in Mexico. Yeah, you're way too tall too. I always forget whenever Dread Sheep shows up. I'm just like hulking giant. What the fuck? Anyway, it's gonna be riding season soon and stuff, and yeah, we got to ride out to the cabin a whole lot more because it's a great ride, man. And it's not too long, so then we got the cabin as a destination, and you got to come out with Bruce Willis, the honorably patched out 81 rider that CJ's met. And CJ, yeah, Bruce and Linda have moved to, I think it's Clinton or Lytton, it's one of the two, out towards Kamloops. So they're only about like half an hour, 45 minutes from me. And then we've got Duffy Loop, we can ride with them, we can stay at their place, whatever. So that's a thing. But yeah, can't wait to get riding again and whatever. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here because we're going on like just 10 minutes past the hour on this live stream, and it's going to suck my data that I keep having to replenish. And I'd like to, if at all possible, maybe do a live stream from El Elocotes and show you guys the amazing madness of this mountain village. It's basically the equivalent of an ancient pseudo-bucolic modernized, slightly modernized village in Japan. It's amazing out there. Buenos noches, amigo. Buenos, Dread Sheep. Yeah, I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow because here's our outro song. Pretty sure that was Queen. Anyway, night, guys. I will talk to you later. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and please do check out the video being released at 2:30 tomorrow. Could totally use your help getting that one some hits. It's real short. It's real stupid. It's kind of hacked and slashed together, but learn how to deal with a minor to medium cut on your hand in the woods. I will see you all as soon as I can. Looking forward to getting home, and good night. Good luck, know your exits, and carry a good book.